Hi everyone, sorry for the late. Today also you might hear the background noise, so please ignore it. I still have to set up my system. Okay, so please ignore, sorry for that background noise.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, so did anybody try this yesterday? What are the example that I have given? Anybody tried creating the Visual Force page with the 4 buttons below, first, previous, next, last, and the checkbox? As soon as I click on the checkbox, edit button.
We have tried with Trailhead module, Swapna.
Okay. So try this because you will get a lot of knowledge when you are doing this. There's a lot of, you might understand what needs to be done first, second. You'll get more knowledge on that because this is truly the real-time experience. Coming to the next topic today, limits of or limits in batch apex. What are the limits do we have in the batch apex? Limits in batch apex. The first one is up to 5 queued batches, queued or active batch jobs are allowed for apex. This is Salesforce limitations. Okay, this is, we did not give anything limits on the batch apex. Salesforce, if you open the Salesforce documentation, you will see these. Up to 5 queued or active batch jobs are allowed for apex. And the second one, a maximum of 50 million records. A maximum of 50 million records can be returned in the Database.QueryLocator. Object. But if you are getting a question, like if I have a more than 50 million records, what will happen? If more than 50 million, guys, please go on mute if you are not talking. If more than 50 million records are returned, then what will happen? The batch job is immediately terminated. Immediately terminated and marked as failed. I'm muting everybody. Okay. So if there are more than 50 million records, then the batch job is immediately terminated and marked as a failed, because Salesforce itself is giving the limit. Okay, you run up to maximum 50 million. But if you want, no, I want to run more than 50 million records, then Salesforce says that fine, bye-bye, terminated and failed. It is going to fail the batch. And next point is, while executing the Database.executeBatch. Okay, if we do not specify any size. So that means if no size is specified with the optional scope parameter of Database.executeBatch. Then what will happen? Salesforce Chunks the records it will return by the start method. And how many it will be? Into batches of 200. And what will do it once it is divided into the batches, then passes the each batch to the execute method. And every time it passes the 200 records, what will happen? If you do not have a stateful batch, then Apex governor limits are reset for each execution of execute method. Fourth one. And in the batch class, we have a start, execute, finish method, right? So if we have to implement a callouts inside the batch class, we have a callout separate topic. If we have to implement a callouts in batch class, better to implement 10 callouts. As per the Garner limits, 100 callouts is the maximum that we can do. But if you are implementing a inside the batch class, better to do the 10 callouts there. And then how many records can be processed in 24? How many batch execution can be processed in 24 hours? 250,000 per 24 hours. These many batches can be executed. These are the limits of the batch Apex.
What is the meaning of callouts?
Minimum, you can do 1 callout, 2 callouts. There is no minimum, but maximum callouts as per the Garner limits is 100 callouts. Within the Salesforce, the license based on the license and your organization, 100 callouts is the maximum limit that Salesforce has given. That is a separate topic. We'll have the callouts.
Okay.
And today, next one we are talking about. Yeah.
So in 24 hours, we can perform 250,000 batches, right?
The maximum number of batch execution is 250,000 per 24 hours.
Yes. Then can you check the number once?
Okay. Just a second. Check.
No.
Batch. Let
No,
me
no.
see.
The notepad what you entered, right? There you missed 10.
Oh, is it? Oh, sorry. Yeah, 250,000 per 24 hours. Okay, any other question before move on the topic? Next topic is schedule Apex, or we can call it as a Apex scheduler. Schedule Apex or Apex scheduler. What is the schedule Apex? What is the schedule Apex? To schedule an Apex class or piece of code to run at a regular interval. In future. So schedule apex means if I have some requirement, let's say that every new year, okay, as soon as I reach 11:59 of December that year, as soon as I reach there, I wanted to send an email to the all the users who are there in the Salesforce saying that Happy New Year. Right? In those scenarios, what we can do is we can write a piece of code and send an email by scheduling this class. That piece of code, we can schedule it saying that run every December 31st night, 11:59 time. So if you schedule it, that is what it is going to do. Whatever the code is there inside that, sending an email or update, anything is there, it will does that job. So in order to implement the schedule apex, we have to use the interface called or implement schedulable. Use implements schedulable. Implement schedulable. Right? And whenever we are implementing the schedulable class, the access modifier always has to be either global or public. You cannot go with the private, protected or anything. So the class has to be started with a global or public. So what is the basic, the skeleton structure of the schedulable is global class. You have to give the class name. And then implements schedulable. And inside this class will have only one method, which is global void execute method. Execute method. And inside this execute method, we need to have a one parameter because we are using the interface schedulable. So the parameter will be schedulable context. And give any name to that parameter. This is what we have to declare it. This is the skeleton structure of the schedule apex. Let me go ahead and implement one. Let's go to the developer console. Close all. File new apex class. Let's keep the class name as here underscore today's date 2806 underscore. What is that? We are implementing schedulable class. Like by default, it will come with a public class name. Right now, if you are implementing the, what we are doing, we are implementing the schedulable. So implements schedulable. And inside this, we'll have only one method, which is called as a public. See, as soon as I implement it, is expecting one method here. Public void execute schedulable context SC. Perfect, all good. Should go out the errors. Okay, let's save this. Right, we have written the skeleton structure. There are no errors. Now, what do we have to write in the execute method? Whatever we are doing as a normal business logic, any business logic has to be there inside the execute method. So yesterday we have written one batch class, right? Let's say 2706. This one. Is it on 27? No, we did it on 24th, no, 25th. Batchable Apex example 1. Here, whatever we did it, what we did, we are updating the patient class name. Same logic, you can write it here. Same logic we can write here. What are the things we can do it in the execute method? We can write a piece of code. We can write a piece of code, or I can call the batch. I can directly call the batch. Whatever the batch is there, this batch, I can call the batch also. Or if I wanted to send an email, just I don't want to do any logic there. Just send an email. That's it. I can send an email. Now, here the logic scenario is I wanted to send an email December 31st night, 11:59. Now, where should I need to give the time here? Okay, the logic is fine. Sending an email is fine. Writing the code is fine. But where I can give the time? So in order to mention the time, there are two ways which we can do it. Before that, let me sort out this OBJ. So, okay, so let me write here. Let me query the patients list here. List of patient __ C. PT equal to select ID from last name from patient's object. Now here instead of OPJ, I'll take the PT. Perfect. Let's save this. Okay. Now I have a class that is updating the last name. Now that should be fine. But where I need to give the time? In order to give the time, we need to have a expression called Cron expression. Before that, we need to understand the Cron expression. If I wanted to schedule a class from the development or from the developer console, if I wanted to schedule a Apex class, schedulable class from the developer console, then we need to understand a Cron expression. But if you think, no, I do not want to run from the developer console, is there any other way to do that? Yes, we have another way. Go to the setup, search for Apex classes. And there we'll have a one button called schedulable. Schedule a Apex. And here it will tell you what is the, it is going to ask you what are the batches that you wanted to schedule it. So today we have created 2806 schedulable. This is update patient's details. Okay. So here I can give whether I wanted to run weekly or monthly. If I wanted to run monthly, it is going to ask me 1 day per month, every month one, or if I wanted to say every month, first Sunday, or second Sunday, second Monday, third Monday, whatever the time I wanted, I can schedule it. But if I want a weekly, you can choose the days. Which are the days you wanted, you can choose it. And then we have a start method. From today onwards or tomorrow onwards, you can give till 2027 you can give. Okay, so preferred start time, here we'll have a 1 hour differences, 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m., like that. But if I try to make it this as a 5:30, no, it is not going to allow me. You can schedule the start time either 7, 5, 6, like that. But if you wanted to go with the 7:30 a.m., you cannot do from here. So that's the reason developers always prefer to schedule a batch from the developer console. If it is a preferred at 5:30 early morning or night 11:59 time, then it is better to go with a Cron expression. What is a Cron expression? Cron expression is string-based Apex. String-based Apex expression to handle complex data, complex date requirement. When I say date requirement, you might be thinking that there is already a field in the Salesforce which is data type called as a date. So why can't we use that date instead of this? So that date is a different. The date is different. I'll give you one scenario. Okay. So date you will create a one field, but how will you able to do that recurring this year? Okay. 31st December 2021, 2022. And then again next year, it is going to be the 31st December 2023. So every time you have to change the date. That is fine, that is yearly one. But sometimes what happens, monthly you wanted to send one reminder email to the customer. So is it possible using the date? Maybe you can say that I'll create a formula field and I'll calculate it. Fine, you will calculate the formula field and you will mention the date when you know the date. But let's assume that there is a scenario that you have to send every 4th week of Monday or every 3rd week of Monday, every month. Every month, third week of Monday, we have to send a reminder email for the coming days. Every month, the 3rd week of Monday, how do you know what is the date? We don't know the date, right? And we don't even know like whether it could be a Monday could be falling 27th or 28th or could be anything. So that time what we need to have, we cannot declare the date field inside the object. That is for different purpose altogether. And inside the Cron expression, when I say string based Apex expression to handle the complex date requirement is, let me make you understand, there is a 7 parameters in the Cron. In the Cron, there are 7 parameters. What are the parameters? Seconds, minutes, hours, and then we have a day of month. Day of month and month. Then after that we have a day of week. And then year. Okay. So seconds is, how many seconds we have? Like 60 seconds. It could be any number between the 0 to 59. I can use it. Minutes, same 60 minutes. That means between the 0 to 59, any number I can use for the minutes. And coming to hours, 24 hours, right? 0 to 23 hours. I can use the 24 also, but we have to use any number between the till 24. And day of month, like sometimes we have a 28 days, 30 days, 31 days. That means in between the 31 to, in between 1 to 31. And months, how many we have? 12, Jan to December. So how can we use, either you can use the number 1 to 12, or you can use the number Jan to December. And for the day of week, weeks will be 7 days. You can use 1 to 7 between any number, or you can use the 7 also, or you can use Sunday to Saturday. So in Salesforce term, the week starts Sunday. Okay, so Sunday to Saturday you can use any time. Year from 1972 till 2099. Any year you can use it. So this is what I'm guessing it 2019, and that can be changed later also. So do not fix 2019. Don't ask me the question what will happen after 2019. So the year might change. So right now I'm thinking it is 2099. Okay. So these are the 7 parameters which are very important in the form. Whenever I declare a call, I have to mention the seconds. I have to mention the minutes. I have to mention the hours. So how it will be? It will be in the format of, when I'm declaring the call expression, it should be seconds, minutes, hours. Then we have a date, month, week, year. This is the format of Cron expression. Sorry, this is a month Cron expression. Okay, let's take this seconds, minutes, hours, and date, month, week, and the year. So till this point, it is going to say that. Till this point, it is going to say which time, right? Here it is going to talk about date. Here it is going to talk about date, month, year, but in between we have a week also. In between we have a week. So how we are going to define it? Like I wanted to send night 11:59, right? So it will be 23. That means 11 means 23. So 23 and minutes 59, seconds 59. And when I wanted to send 31st, okay, month will be 12th month, and the year, let's keep it as a 2022. Okay. Now the question is here, for example, if I do not know what is a week, if I do not know what is a week, week could be anything. 31st can be on the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, anything. So if in case if you are not sure which date or which week or which month, if you don't know, put the question. Question mark means I don't know what is the date it is going to be, or I don't know what is the week it is going to be. So simply what you can do, put a question mark here. So Salesforce itself is going to take care of it. And if you want to have a recurring emails or recurring, the batch has to run every year. Right now I have given there 2022, right? But if you wanted to send every end of the year, if you want to repeat it, put the star mark. If you want to repeat it, put the star mark. Star mark means it is going to recurring. Recurring. So now I'll take out this 2022 and what I'll do, I'll put a star mark here. So what will happen? Every year, 31st night, it is going to send an email, right? But in case if you know that, for example, you know that, okay, I wanted to send only one day, only this year, and from next year, I do not want to send, then simply put 2022. And if you know this year date, instead of the question mark, you can put Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever the date it is following up, right? You can put the Tuesday. Or if you wanted to send exact 12 o'clock, that means on 2023, if you want to send exact on the exact 12 o'clock, put a 00 here. It will be 00, and minutes also will be 00, and seconds also 00. Right? Date is first, and month will be first. And I don't know the week. That could be any day. And which year? It is going to be the 2023. And this is the way we have to form the Cron expression. For example, if I wanted to send an email, like after 5 years, I wanted to delete the 2022 records, right? So that means after, like when I reach the year 2071, when I reach 2071, I wanted to delete all 2022 records because those are very old records. So if you wanted to schedule using the Cron expression, then how can we schedule it? We can simply say that every, like in 2071, let's say that every month 15th. Okay, I do not have the seconds, minutes, hours, that should be anything fine. Or let's take the night 10 o'clock because that time the users will be free. And date, when do we want it to run? On the 15th day. And then we have a month. Month means every month I wanted to run. And week, I do not know the week. Year, when I'm going to run, 2071. This is what to run every month 15th in 2071 year. Every month 15th day I wanted to run that. Let's assume I wanted to run last week of Friday. Every month, last week of Friday, I wanted to run. Night 10 p.m. Every last week of Friday, night 10 p.m. I wanted to run the schedulable class. So seconds 00, minutes 00, 10 p.m. Let's say 22. Okay. And date, I do not know the date because you are saying that last week of Friday. And then month, it has to be repeated. And in last week of Friday, it will be like we have to put 6L. And then every year I wanted to execute. So count it from the Sunday. Okay. So Sunday will be 0th day. Here, see, day of month. Sunday will be 1. Okay. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Friday is falling at the 6th. Right. So, and the L will be the last Friday. That means this is 10 p.m. every month, last Friday, I wanted to execute it. Let's say if you wanted to run from Wednesday to Friday, okay, I wanted to run only between the Wednesday to Friday. That too at 10:30 a.m. I wanted to run. 10:30 a.m. I wanted to run only on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Only these 3 days I wanted to run. So how can we give? So they are saying 10:30 a.m. So seconds will be 0, minutes is 30, hours is 10. And next we have a date. I do not have any date because they are saying Wednesday, Friday, that's it. So date I do not know, so it will be a question mark. Next month. Month, let's take the month, maybe let's take the month, or we can take the every month. Or if you wanted to take a month, you can put a 06. Or if you wanted to run, you can write it instead of 06, you can put a June. That should be fine. Either you can put 06 or you can put a June. And when to when we have to run? Wednesday to Friday. Mention the Wednesday to Friday. And let's say that after, like during the, when I reach 2050, that time I wanted to run. So that means in the year of 2015, in the year of 2015, June month, on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, at 10:30 a.m., this, whatever we have scheduled it, that code is going to execute it. Okay. So is it clear on the call, expression? Anybody has any question on the form expression? Okay. So let me go ahead and see. Let me execute this. First of all, let me see what is the records that are there in the patient's object. These are already have a batch effect, so I'll change that. I'll change the name to system updated. Save. And let me copy this class, debug, developer console. So first what we have to do, we have to declare a Cron expression. String CRN equal to, let's say today night, seconds 59, minutes 59, and let's put the hour 23 and date 01. Today is 28th, right? So let me put 29. Date, month 06. This month is 06. And then week, I do not know the week. In the year 2022. Fine. Now let me schedule that. Let me initialize this batch, this schedulable SCA equal to new schedulable class. Now here it is, new command system.schedulable, because we are using here schedulable. In case if you are using the batch class, then that time it will be Database.executeBatch. Why it is Database.executeBatch? Because we are using the interface Database.batchable. So in that case, we have to use the Database.execute. Right now we are using the schedulable. So for the schedulable, in order to schedule it, system.schedulable schedulable batch. So schedulable, schedule. Let's give the name of the batch class. Update patient record. Okay. When I wanted to run, this is the time. And what is the batch class that schedulable class that I wanted to run? SA. Let me go ahead and run this.
Swapna, string spelling wrong.
Sorry.
String spelling wrong.
Okay. So
String.
spelling of it.
String. Line 1.
Okay. String spelling. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Let's execute this. It ran. So where do I see that whether the batch is scheduled or not? Go to the setup, schedulable batch. So if you type here job, scheduled job. So you will see update a patient record by this user, whoever the user is scheduled, that user. And when it is submitted on 28th June 2022. And when is it going to start next? 29 night 11:59 p.m. So tomorrow night it is going to start this. Now once I schedule the class, for example, I already scheduled it. Okay, I forgot that maybe my last name is not right. Now if I wanted to change, system updated by Apex. If I change and try to save this, it is going to throw an error saying that you cannot change the class once it is scheduled, because it says that the Apex class has batch or future job is pending or in progress. So any class, if any job pending for future run, then we cannot change the class. If you want to change the class, what you have to do, you can simply go there and delete it. Delete the patient record. So what are the job you have scheduled it, delete it. Now come back and let's save this. Right? So if any job, if you are getting an error while saving it, regarding the future job or pending job is you cannot change anything, that means there is a job that is scheduled scheduled already related to this class. So you cannot change anything. If you wanted to change anything, first you have to delete that scheduled one. Then you can come here and update it. Now let me go debug. Now instead of 28, let me put today night 29. Let's execute the highlighted one. Now let's go back here, where to check scheduled job. See, it is scheduled. It is scheduled. So tomorrow we can see all the whatever we are trying to update it. We can see in tomorrow class what are the data that is updated. Now, in case if you wanted to call a batch, class, for example, this batch class is there. You wanted to call here. How do you call? First, you have to initialize the batch class. This is BA equal to new, the batch class name, and then Database.executeBatch, and then you have to mention BA. I cannot save this record because it is already scheduled, but I wanted to show you that how to call the batch class from the schedulable class. Right, so this is the way we call the batch class and we schedule it. So once we schedule it, you will see in the scheduled jobs window, you will see here when it is going to start. Next schedule run is the very important to check. So 11:59 today night it is going to run. So that's about the schedulable Apex. Any questions on that? Okay, yesterday I have given to write a batch class. Is anybody did that? Where is that? Yeah, write a batch class to update the opportunity. Okay, so today task is trial head. We have a asynchronous Apex. Okay, inside this asynchronous Apex, there is something called schedulable job using the Apex scheduler. Okay, complete this. This is the assignment. Complete the schedulable one. Trial head assignment. Good. Ishwar has completed it. Global class database.batch opportunity. Let me database.stateful. But you have written the stateful, Ishwar. Okay. But where are you capturing the count? Okay, this is the class. Okay, you have implemented the stateful. That is perfectly fine. Now there is a start method, execute method, finish method. Oh, okay. There is some code is missed. System.query. Opportunity query, list of opportunity. You are looping through the list of opportunity, changing the stage name. Add system.debug, getting the updated one. Perfect. Okay, this is good. But if you wanted to capture the count, how many records you are updating it at the end, maybe you have to declare one integer at the starting of this, before the start class. Start method, declare the integer count, then you can calculate the count here. Anybody has any questions on yesterday or today? Because from today's schedule and batch class is going to end. Okay. So write down the interview questions. Okay. What is an Apex scheduler? What is interface is used for schedulable Apex? What is the interface that is used for the schedulable Apex? And then next, what are the methods used with a single used with schedulable Apex? That means how many methods we use while implementing the schedulable Apex. And next, what is the parameter for the execute method? For execute method, what is the parameter? schedulable context is the parameter. And next, how can you schedule it? Schedulable Apex class. And once it is scheduled, how to monitor the scheduled jobs. How to monitor the scheduled jobs. One thing, you can go to the scheduled jobs and you can check here. Or else we have another thing which is called as a Cron Trigger. Cron Trigger. Let me go to the developer console. So we have something called Cron Trigger. If you are not aware, go to the file, open, and go to the objects. And here search with Cron. Search with Cron. There is a Cron job details and Cron Trigger. So for us to know what is the jobs that are scheduled, it is a Cron Trigger. So you can select all the details here and query execute. So you will get Cron expression, time zone, owner ID, who did that, last modified by, created by, and what is the time it is going to trigger it. If there are any previous slate is ran, then it is going to previous fire time, and what is the job ID, and when it is going to fire the next time. So all the details will be there in the Cron Trigger. So there you will see the state of the job, waiting. If it is completed, end time. If it is completed, then there will be an end time. Clear? And coming to this, how many schedulable jobs can we run? How many schedulable jobs at one time I can run it? So as per the Gartner limits, we can only have 100 scheduled Apex jobs at one time. Okay, so that is the Gartner limits. They might ask you how many, or simply I can say, what is the Governor limits of scheduled Apex? So maximum any of this can come. And next, how to define Cron expression. How to define a Cron expression. So how to define this? You have to mention the seconds, minutes, hours, date, month, weekly, year. Okay, so these are the maximum it can hit any of these questions in the interview. Or sometimes they tell us to write a skeleton structure of the code. Write a skeleton scheduled apex. And some members might ask you saying that, why do you declare this schedulable context? What is the reason for behind of that? What is the reason behind of that? So basically schedulable context is it contains the whatever the job is scheduled, because we are running at the interface schedulable. So whatever happens in this batch, in this schedulable class, everything will be stored in the schedulable context. And schedulable job ID or anything, everything will be stored there. They might ask you, what is the why we have a special characters in the cron expression. Special character inside the cron expression. I think that's all for today. Any questions before I log off? Okay, then so yeah, Ishwar.
No, thank you.
Today we completed the batch class and schedulable class in the asynchronous, right? So we will go tomorrow next topic with the future apex and queryable apex.
Okay, Swapna.
Yeah, thank you. Bye bye.